We have all been in a situation when driving that we were amazed at how dangerous the roads we were on seemed to be. But then there are some roads around the world that will make you want to hide under the seats and pray for them to be over. In today's Top 10, we present to you the top 10 most dangerous roads in the world. Are you ready? Number 1. The Sichuan-Tibet Highway in China. When you hear about a highway, you don't expect it to be particularly scary. But then you haven't been to the Sichuan-Tibet Highway, a 2,000-kilometer road in China that starts from Chengdu and ends up in Lhasa. You will encounter hairpin bends, avalanches galore, and lots of landslides while you're driving it. So don't think for a moment it would be okay to take your eyes off the road and admire the beautiful scenery. While the construction of the highway was undergoing, more than 1,000 workers died. So maybe apart from extremely dangerous, it could be haunted as well. Would you dare to drive there? Number 2 is the North Yungas Road, Bolivia. When a road has a nickname, Road of Death, you can pretty much expect how bad it's going to be. But you're mistaken. Nothing can prepare you for North Yungas Road, which rises up to the heights of more than 4,000 meters where you have absolutely no space for two cars to be side by side, and beneath you, only a green abyss. Every year, this road claims the lives of more than 300 people, making the 400-kilometer trip from Los Yungas to La Paz the experience of a lifetime. Number 3 is the Karakoram Highway, China, Pakistan. Formerly known as the China-Pakistan Friendship Highway, this 1,300-kilometer road links Hansan Abdal and Kashgar. But apart from its historical significance, which is massive, this road's also famous for being one of the most dangerous in the world. Why is that? Because it's the highest paved road of the planet, and because of how hard it was to build it, it's considered the 8th wonder of the world. The darker side of this wonder, though, is that because the winters at height of 4,700 meters can be particularly harsh, and the monsoons in the summer the same. More than 800 Pakistani and about 200 Chinese workers lost their lives while building it. Number 4 is the Hana Highway in Hawaii. If you like to drive fast, then forget about visiting the Hana Highway. It has more than 600 turns and 50 one-lane bridges, which might not sound so scary until you learn they were built back in 1910. This 80-kilometer road links Kahului and Hana, and even though on a normal highway an 80-kilometer drive would take you about an hour, this one will take you approximately 3 hours because of the narrow roads and hundreds of dizzying turns. The good thing, though, is that it's incredibly beautiful, so if you ever decide to drive it, you'll also be pleasantly surprised, along with horribly, yin-yang. Number 5 is Los Caracoles Pass, Chile. Everything comes at a cost, and these roads know it all too well. One minute you're gazing at amazingly beautiful vistas such as Argentina's highest peak, and the next minute you feel trapped and hopeless in the endless miles of sharp turns and blind corners where you can definitely not overtake another car, no matter how slow they go. And with heights that reach up to 10,000 feet above sea level, you have to be really sure you want to go to either Chile or Argentina before deciding to cross the road that is literally called snails, especially in the winter when it's covered in snow. Number 6 is Skipper's Canyon Road in New Zealand. Can you imagine a road where if you want to rent a car and plan to cross it, the insurance doesn't cover you? Well, after seeing this video, we're sure you'll be able to imagine it pretty well. It's located in the southwest part of New Zealand's South Island and was actually carved by hand more than 140 years ago by miners. Don't be surprised to learn that all this buzz is created over a road that's only 16.5 miles because this gravel road will have you reverse more than 3 kilometers if you find yourself face to face with a car that's going the opposite way. Do you know of any other roads that insurance doesn't cover if you decide to drive on them? Number 7 is Zoji La Pass, India. This road is closed for half the year because of snow and the amount of time it takes to clear it out. It is, as many of the roads in the list are, a single-lane road that stretches out to only 9 kilometers, but it's 3,528 meters above sea level. The view is magnificent, but unfortunately, you won't have time to admire the view if you drive on this road because, first of all, it's way too narrow for comfort, and second of all, you're advised not to stay long there because you'll eventually run out of oxygen because of the height. Number 8 is the Holian Tunnel Road in China. The 350 inhabitants of the village Holian were almost completely cut out from the rest of the world, given that the passage to their village was only some narrow stairs which were embedded into a mountainside and called Sky Ladder. Even though we're sure that climbing them would be exciting, when you live there it can certainly get tiresome to risk your life every time you want to buy provisions. For many years, the locals begged the government, please make a tunnel so we can have easier access, but nobody listened. Well, finally they'd had enough. The villagers carved out a tunnel road in the side of the cliff and did it by hand. Now in order to pass it, you have to have nerves of steel and, well, a car you absolutely trust. The 1.2-kilometer road is just 4 meters at its widest point. Would you dare to cross it? Number 9 is Bayburt D915 Highway in Turkey. This one has been considered the most dangerous road of the world for many years, and after seeing it, we perfectly understand why. It was built by Russian soldiers back in 1916 on the side of the Sungali Mountain and stretches over 179 kilometers total. But not all of it is bad. In the northern section, it has 29 unbelievably scary hairpin bends that don't feature any railings between them. You cannot turn in many of these bends in a single maneuver, and you can imagine when you're 6,000 feet up, you really don't want to spend time backing up and going forward again and again. Thankfully, it's closed in the winter because of the many blizzards and miles of slippery ice, and that would definitely turn into a hellish trip and an almost certain death trip. Number 10 is the Taroko Gorge Road in Taiwan. And this one is just as dangerous as the previous one, if not more. It features many blind curves, sharp turns, and amazingly narrow paths. But that's not the only problem. Because the road passes through Taroko National Park, the number of tourists that visit it are more than enough to make the scary drive even more dangerous. You'll not only have to worry about falling off a cliff, you have to worry about hitting a pedestrian, or backing off when you come face to face with a tourist bus, or trying to avoid crashing with a scooter. No thank you. Which one of our top 10 dangerous mountain roads do you think is the most dangerous one? Have you ever visited any of them? If not, which one would you like to visit? Tell us down in the comments.